So verse 24 was screen. Verse 24 was wrong beliefs regarding a true guru. Wrong beliefs regarding a guru. So Bhaya Tyag, Nij Kul, Vagere. Then verse 25. So Guru chapter is over. Now we come to gods or Dev Tattva, Satdev. So now he explained in verse 25 what? False belief regarding the nature of the lords or gods, nature and the purpose. And now that is also over. So Guru over, Bhagwan over. Now what is the third component? Dharma. So now what should we expect in verse 26? So something he will start about what is your wrong belief regarding Dharma, or what is the bigotry regarding Dharma. So how many left? 26, 27 and 28. So one for Guru, one for Dev and three for Dharma. Because Dev, Guru, Dharma, I said he'll be explaining regarding these three aspects. So Guru over, Dev over, and the last component or the instrument which is beneficial on the path is Dharma. Guru, Dev and Dharma. So now we can expect three verses regarding false beliefs regarding Dharma. But we get something else. We get something else. Something popped in his mind. Whose mind? Param Kripaludeva's mind means heart or whatever you can say. So instead of jumping to Dharma, he goes back to Guru. He goes back to Guru. Why? Because what did verse 25 say? Even if you come in association with right God, still you can be wrong. So nothing of this is said in verse 24. Verse 24 is if you come in association with a wrong guru. And that's why you are a bigot. But nothing is said regarding you have a right guru and still you are a wrong person. Nothing is said about it. So this will be said in this, and then the next two will be regarding Dharma. So let's see. Verse 25 explained the false belief regarding the nature of God. Verse 24, the one previous to it, explained the false beliefs regarding the nature of Guru. Now in this verse, so verse 26. So 24, Guru. 25, Bhagwan. 26, again Guru. 27, Dharma. 28, Dharma. But now what is he saying in this? He explains how Matarthi acts despite finding a Sadguru. And still he is a Matarthi. That was when he found an Asadguru, he was a Matarthi. Now, because he has not developed that worthiness within, so he comes in contact with a Sadguru, and still he remains a religious bigot. So let's sing.
प्रत्यक्ष सद्गुरु योगमा वरते दृष्टि विमुख असद्गुरु ने दृढ़ करे निज मानार्थी मुख्य.
This is a wonderful verse. So Pratyaksha Sadguru Yogma. So Pratyaksha Sadguru, living, enlightened mentor. Okay? Yogma, in the presence of, or in the association of. So in the association of a living, enlightened mentor, or in the presence, you come in association of a Sadguru. Sadguru, not a Sadguru. Varte Drashti Vimukh. So, Varte means he overlooks or disregards his opinions. And what does he do? Drashti Vimukh, maintains perverse attitude, opposite views Every now and then, I don't agree with him. I don't think he's right. You start doubting, kshanka, kushanka, and varte drashti vimukh. Mind is always fighting with his views. Instead of surrendering, thinking, reflecting, absorbing, he only wants to contradict it. And a contrary he holds opposite views than the views of the Sadguru. Varte drashti vimukh. So we need to understand what is that which activates his anantanubandhi vimukta. So varte drashti vimukh. In the presence of the pratyaksha Sadguru, instead of going closer and closer and closer, in the initial stages he will not understand everything. But he is right, he is my guru. So how he is right, let me try to figure it out. And slowly, slowly you come closer by chintan and by building your patrata, both. Not only by your intellect, by your inner purity, increasing your inner purity, and this. All this we'll be discussing later, so just listen to it. So you try to come slowly, slowly, and then a point comes where whatever comes in your heart is exactly what is in the heart of the Sadguru. And slowly, 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 that is the time you are ready for Samkit, and then you go ahead. For any purpose, you have to come closer. But what happens to this bigot? He goes further and further and further away to the extent he overlooks, he disregards, he holds opposite views in his mind. Just see, that's why I'm saying it's more relevant now than even 125 years ago. Because that time the people didn't even get so much contact of a Sadguru. Because those who have adopted monkhood, they are always on their vihar. So how much do you get? And those who are grihastha, so you can't go to someone's house that way and be a pylon. So there were nothing like ashrams and gurukuls and in that way. So it's more relevant now than even when Prabhu wrote this verse. Do you agree with me? So varte drashti vimukh. And then what does he do? So like that also he's opposing every Asad Guru ne drad. Then he goes to the Asad Guru, untrue teacher, drada kare, and follows him with determination. He strengthens the faith in him because he does not like this Sadguru. Sadguru, every time he does parichoina only with him. Anything I think, wrong. Anything I do, wrong. He corrects me. That fellow praises me. So where should I go? But then you don't come in this section. Then you are not a Matarthi. Matarthi is not interested in right. Matarthi is interested in pride. Where will my ego be nourished? So Asad Guru ne it dhrad kare, not meet. He reaffirms his faith in it. You understand? And why? Nij manarthe mukhya, mainly because of nij mana, to gratify his vanity. You understand? And I perceive this verse as a story. So I'll be telling you that short story. So don't worry if the previous verse took 45 minutes. Don't think this will also take 45 minutes. Because I'm just going to reveal the story and that's it. It's over. So the short meaning. He, Sadguru, the capital H is not because he is a Sadguru, because it's the starting of the sentence. So he behaves with perverse attitude in the presence of the enlightened mentor when available, overlooks or disregards him, and second line, he follows the untrue teacher with faith, mainly to gratify his own pride. Why does he do that? To earn respect both from the impostor, the Asad Guru, and the public attending on the impostor. સદગુરુની જે સભા હોય એમાં બધા માન આપે ને કે બહુ સારું ગાયું, તમે બહુ સારું બોલ્યા, તમે બહુ સારું દાન કર્યું, તમે બહુ સારું તપ કર્યું, તમે તો શું સેવા આપો છો, જીન મંદિરમાં શું સેવા આપો, તમે ગમે તેવા હો. So you like all people praising you. The guru, who is actually Asad Guru, he's praising you, and the people around the Asad Guru, they also praise you. So who wants to let go of the praises? Thereby he develops his pride and vanity. So let me go. Let me finish. I'll take 10 minutes more, but you'll understand this verse. And the significance is more important. Why back to Guru? How systematically it was going, Dev, Guru, Dev, Dharma. Why did you go back to Guru? So no, that was an Asad Guru, and this I'm talking of a Sadguru. So beautiful. A fool is a fool only because his arrogance makes him so. You have to repeat. How true, no? A fool is a fool. Why? Because his arrogance only makes him a fool. You need to reflect on this. Sometimes, why do you behave so impulsive, so foolishly? Because you have so much arrogance. That arrogance makes it, and the moment you realize your arrogance, you are going to cry. You are going to regret. You are going to repent. But that man in you, it doesn't matter whether you are a kid or you are an old man. If you are having man, you are going to behave this way, arrogantly. So arrogance is a real deadly disease because it leaves no room for true understanding. You just don't want to understand the opinion of the other, then you don't mind if the other is a Sadguru also. More important to my life. I and my thinking are the most important, and my viewpoint is the most important. You understanding? So if this ego issue you have, you are going to varte drashti vimukh in the presence of a Sadguru. You are going to be like this if you are suffering from ego. No, I don't want anyone to praise me. I don't want anybody to garland me. No, all that is not. Sticking to your foolish viewpoint is ego. Not trying to understand the other person's viewpoint is also ego. Ego does not only mean gun and presence and garlanding and applause. Not only that. It means I am always right and my thinking is always right. As if a Kevali Bhagwan is saying, tu jhutto che, tu khoto che. But you are not a Kevali Bhagwan. We don't even call you latent Bhagwan also. You are such a fool. Ke tu Shuddhatma bhi che. That also we don't want to believe, but we are believing because Bhagwan has said. Baki, I don't want to believe that also. That much Ashuddhi I am seeing. But you have that ego that you are Bhagwan. Your viewpoint is the right viewpoint. 0.1% also if you are wrong, ketla karma bandh, and then whatever you have done and said is called abhyakhyan papastanak. It's okay if you don't know. There are other paps. Ema al naku, akshep karu is called abhyakhyan. So, and if you slap Rushabh, nothing will happen. If you slap Apurvaji, something will happen. If you slap Narendra Modi, you might go to jail. If you slap Bhagnanis, you will go to jail. Sitter koda kodi ni jail. Sitter koda kodi to mahamoni ache, but lambo karma bandh, I mean. The greater and the purer, more karma bandh you are going to incur. Varte drashti vimukh. So this is because he's a bigot and he's most interested not in his spiritual welfare, but in his pride. Nij manarte mukhya. See the last beautiful words. Nij manarte mukhya. Pratyaksh Sadguru Yogma, why is he behaving vimukh? Why is he going to an untrue teacher and reaffirming his faith? Nij manarte mukhya. Because he just can't see his ego getting crushed here, And he can see his ego getting inflated there. So everything is again the game of ego. So I've always questioned કે આ મતાર્થીનો વિભાગ છે કે માનાર્થીનો, because everything boils down finally to ego. Ego, yeah. It is a veil that covers your eyes. You just can't see truth. It's like a screen which shields the truth, the reality from you. So you never feel you are doing wrong because you can't just see the reality. That is the problem. Someone should just jab you. Because you can't, if you see reality, then you will know you are wrong. And then you will not behave stupidly. But because the ego shields, it's like a veil in front of your eyes. This is a veil. Sorry, I am doing chitrapatti. Now I can't see who is on the first row. Same way, ego does not let you see. There is no room for true understanding. Because you feel what you understand is true, it's not even questionable. You need to doubt yourself. I'm not saying go into low confidence, but as a spiritual seeker, you need introspection. I'm not saying go every time doubt yourself, go into low confidence. No, not that way. But don't be so egoistic also. Beautiful. A bigot is blinded by his beliefs. A bigot is blinded by his beliefs. He's boxed in his prejudices. Packed. આટલું જ world છે એનું, in his box. He does not see beyond the box. He does not have that much maturity. What other way it can be seen? Multiple ways, but I'm just saying the other. Because he is boxed in his prejudices. Come on, you don't need to be so serious also. So, because of all this, he behaves perverse in the presence of a true teacher. But he needs a teacher. So he will go to an untrue teacher, reaffirm his faith there, and sees to it that he maintains his importance, his pride, his worldly position. He sees to it, and the verse is over. Now I'll just tell you a story. I perceive this verse. I have many things inside me which I'm not telling you. What made Prabhu write this? Who was in his mind when he's writing this? I won't be telling you, but I'll tell you this story without the name of any characters. So this is the way, if you know this story, you will know, you have already by-hearted the whole verse. What happens? So, say there's a sectarian, a bigot already. Whatever concept he has for a true teacher, the verse 24, that is his belief, external renunciation or whatever. And he has cultivated some faith, not some good faith in a guru who is a Sadguru. Say someone from in your sect, your family guru, anything, or Bahya Tyagi, whatever was mentioned in verse 24. Right? So you are already believing in some guru, not checked whether he is an enlightened soul, just external renunciation or family tradition. So you are thinking he is a Sadguru, and whatever says is the path of liberation, because Guru, right? So the path of liberation lies in his words, because I consider him as Sadguru. Very clear? Now, by chance, he comes in contact with a true Guru. Because you are a dharmic person, right? So, if you are a worldly person, તો કહેશે કે આ મૂવી આવ્યું છે જોયું? આ રેસ્ટોરન્ટ ખુલ્લી છે ગયા છો? એવી રીતે if you are a dharmic person, કે વન જ્ઞાની અમારે ત્યાં પધારે છે, આવું છે? So because you are a dharmic person, you will always show interest. You don't want to consider him as guru, but for satsang. So you, by chance, some punya of your past birth, this fellow who already has a guru, who is an asad guru, but he doesn't know that he is an asad guru. He considers him a guru, and by chance he comes in contact with a sadguru, some enlightened one. Now, he likes him, so he increases his association, or says satsamagam. As you all know, honeymoon doesn't last long. Honeymoon doesn't last long. So sooner or later, the Sadguru will urge him to leave his wrong notions regarding dharma, seva, dan, vrata, tapa, whatever beliefs he had, because it was all because of the Asadguru feeding him, right? So now, when you start satsang and discussion, it's like, આમ ધર્મ નથી. જો સદગુરુ છે એના કોના બાપની શરમ છે? આમ નથી, આમ છે. અને આ તમારો આગ્રહ છે. આગ્રહ? Up till now, all the gurus who I have met have said, શું તમારી શ્રદ્ધા છે? And this fellow means this enlightened fellow is telling me કે આ તમારો આગ્રહ છે. સીધે આખું આ સ્ટોરીના બેકડ્રોપમાં આખી આ ગાથા સમજવાની જરૂર છે. So you increase the association because you are liking his satsang and all, and now comes the personal satsang. So that is the only satsang. All this is time pass. That is the actual satsang where he looks in your eyes and says you are wrong. Sometimes he would prefer to explain why you are wrong. Sometimes he would prefer not to explain. That is his method. So he would urge him to give up his notions, rather give up his prejudices regarding people, regarding your work styles, regarding your vrata tapa, dharma, bhakti, swadhyaya, anything. He will urge you to do. So in this story, this fellow, I just hope I don't utter his name. So this fellow has a guru, a sadguru, whatever tradition, whatever, it's all was going on. He's a dharmic fellow and all. Now, by chance, he meets a sadguru. And the sadguru is urging, actually showing him his flaws, his swachan, his mata, his agra. So what do you think? What must be happening to this fellow who is a bigot? First, number one, he will not show interest only. When he talks of introspection, contemplation, he would want ke kevi te puja karwani, kevi te aa karwani, tell me about all the rituals, external practices. The moment he starts about all this internal and darshan mo and this and that, he will not show interest. He may overlook, he may disregard, he may argue it out. Use wrong logic. Practical ma amat thai. Vyavarik nathi. Vyavarik che. Yeah, vyavarik nathi. So what? But parmarthik angle ti baat thai. You wanted vyavarik. I didn't want it vyavarik. Keeping you in front of me is also not itself been vyavarik. Because you are a very halka person. Still, I have not done according to the Vyavar and I have showed compassion. So now why do you want everything Vyavarik and everything within logic? You understand? But he'll use wrong logic. All this comes in Varte Drashti Vimukh. Varte wrongly against him. His Anantanubandhi gets activated. So first the issue will be Anantanubandhi man, not directly anger. Your anger will only be if your ego is disturbed. Till your ego is poshoed, there will be no anger. He will be God for you. He will be God for you. Once your ego is hurt, then this comes. So that is the point. Then also we don't understand why this anger came only after this. That means this is the problem and not the event. If this was a problem, it should have come before this. The anger should have come before that. But it's coming here. So, varte drashti vimukh. So beautifully it is said. Only when you get a takor, then only this anger comes. Then this logic comes. Everything comes afterwards. Why didn't it come before? When he was praising you, why didn't this logic come? But I was interested by praise. Why should I use this logic? The logic is against my ego, not against you. Because of my ego, not to go against you. But in that, your ego is so important to you. And this is basically because of lack of your genuine interest in spirituality. Ego to thaye, masu, mane bhi thaye, tane bhi thaye. But if you are genuine in your spiritual welfare, you will say, no, I must remove this. I must not get trapped into it. If you are a genuine person. But you are not a genuine seeker only. So you would say, I want to stay and develop my vanity, my pride, nij manarte, mukhya. What is mukhya in his life? Only he. And not that capital he. That langdo he. I call it langdo he. Your ego. So, due to his flaws like Swachand, Agra, he will not accept his views, use wrong logic, starts doubting him. As a result, he does not profit. What did I say? He will not benefit. No profit, even after meeting a Sadguru. Pratyaksh, that too. No profit. I'm wrong in saying this. He incurs huge loss. It's not about profit. Profit to nahi thai, but he incurs huge loss because of the activation of his Anantanubandhi. Because it's against Sat. So whatever Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, everything against Sat, so Anantanubandhi. So he incurs loss. It's not that he does not benefit from a Pratyak Sadguru. He incurs huge loss. Don't say loss. Adjective is must here. Huge loss. Because now he's saying, I'm right and the enlightened is wrong. He's saying that. So it's a big, huge loss. So now try to figure out who must be in Prabhu's mind and why did he write this. And all this was also out of compassion. Not to put him low, otherwise we could have added one more word and named him also. So a pot upside down, a lot of rain, no benefit. Unworthy. And now what happens? The second line. The second part of the story I am saying. First part is, okay, Pratyak Sadguru Yogma, he comes in contact with the Pratyak, pan varte drashti vimukh. You understood? Now what he does, because now he doesn't feel comfortable here with the Pratyak Sadguru, because every time someone else is praised and you are not praised. Because he can see your ego in that. So how can he praise you? He can't say a satya. So what if you are a big Daneshwari? See, Asad Guru is a great guy. You know, he says, Mara bapnu su jai che, e rakhde to rakhde. If I praise him, I'll get more donations. મફતમાં સેવા કરે. Why do I want to do any ટકોર? કર્યા કરે ને, મફતમાં સેવા કરે. આવું ક્યાં મળશે? આપણે પગાર આપવાનું રાખશું તો આપણું કાંઈ થશે નહીં મંદિર બંદિર. ભલે ને કરતો આપણે એના કોઈ દોષ કાઢવા નથી, પછી એનું ફટકે એને ચાલ્યો જાય તો આપણે ક્યાં. બટ અનફોર્ચ્યુનેટલી such feelings don't come in a Sadguru. Unfortunately. એ દાનેશ્વરી હશે તો તારા ઘરનો. If you are wrong, you are wrong. સેવા કરવી હોય તો કર ને ન કરવી હોય તો ન કર, but I am going to say that you are wrong. So that is the problem. So who is going to feel comfortable? Only a true seeker. A bigot is not going to be comfortable. So what will he do? See how much Prabhu thinks. rather where he had to think only. I actually asked him, you never needed a brain, you never needed, because this all cannot come from a mind. So why don't you lend me yours? This can't come, just imagine, I'm not being able to finish it. But see the story, how the human psychology works. He was comfortable here. Punya now that he gets an enlightenment. Thoda time shouldn't fine. Then again the honeymoon phase is over and the actual reality he faces. He is now no more comfortable here. So what does he do? He goes back to that person, his traditional guru. Why? Because they both, listen to this, look in my eyes and see, listen. Sorry, you have to listen, but look in my eyes both. Because they both are in the same state. Because even that Asad Guru is ignorant, even you are ignorant. Even the Asad Guru wants pride, even you want pride. So you both share a similar state. So ફાવશે તમને બેને ફાવશે. ગુરુ સાથે કદી ફાવવું જોઈએ નહીં. બોલો. જો ફાવ્યું તો કાં તો એ અસદગુરુ, કાં તો તું બહુ સંકિતની નિકટ. I don't even feel like translating this in English. I think you understood. So he goes back to that Asad Guru and શું દ્રઢ કરે, દ્રઢ લખ્યું છે, અસદ ગુરુને દ્રઢ કરે. He reaffirms his faith and surrendership. કે હું વચમાં ભટકી ગયેલો, but now I have realized you are only the true Guru. દ્રઢ કરે પાછું, પહેલા કરતા પણ દ્રઢ કરે. Why? Because his opinions are going to be nourished and he is going to get respect here. He'll get to sit in the first row. ત્યાં તો કાંઈ આપણી ગણતરી જ નહોતી. અહીંયા તો આપણે દાન કરો તો આ મળે, પેલું કરો તો આ મળે, તો બધા કેટલા બધા બેનિફિટ્સ છે. તો he reaffirms, દ્રઢ કરે, strengthens, reaffirms his faith and surrendership and his devotion. And all this, in the whole process, he ignores the Sadguru, strengthens his faith in an Asadguru. Why? He gives special attention and feeds his ego. Special attention because of his patrata, again I don't mind. Special attention when he's totally unworthy. So, Asad Guru, he gets, in fact a bigot gets more attracted to a Sadguru than a Sadguru. Why? અહીંયા એને attention મળે, greetings મળે, કેમ છો? ઓહો, મારી સાથે વાત કરી, attention, greetings and praises. When your antakaran is not even sanmukh, vimukh it is. Varte drashti vimukh. So, Asad Guru takes the advantage of a bigot by robbing him of the true beliefs. Asad Guru takes advantage of a bigot by robbing his true beliefs regarding Dev Guru Dharma. And the bigot gets deceived by an Asad Guru because of his man, because of his vanity, pride. Nij manarte mukya. We'll sing the verse again.
गुरु प्रत्यक्ष सद्गुरु योग मां वरते दृष्टि विमोह. असद्गुरु ने दृढ़ करे